All right, wait, real quick. Chris, what's 2 plus 2?
4.
Speak closer to the mic.
Sandy bet. 4.
All right. So, welcome everybody to Terrorisk episode 22. Tonight we have a guest, Chris Divers. So you're experiencing 2 Chris's for the price of 1. It's Chris squared. Chris times Chris and a Brendan.
And 1 Brendan. So,
how have you been, man? Oh, just as a quick intro, Chris is like one of my best friends in the whole world, you know? We go way back. Chris has dabbled in some stuff. I would consider him like probably like one of those writer editorial types, you know, if he was ever to...
I'm a dabbler.
Yeah, you're a dabbler?
I'm a dabbler.
You like to dabble?
I dabble time to time. Been known to dabble.
Actually, Oh, yeah, before anything else, also, Brendan, how are you?
I'm okay. I got good sleep today. I didn't have to work today.
All right.
Well rested.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you boys for setting some time aside to do this new installment of Terrorisk. So speaking of writing, I was actually recently looking up you guys know who Dan Harmon is?
Yeah, Rick and Morty.
Yeah, so apparently he's got this like specific method. Some other literary professor a long time ago came up with this, like, what was it, like a theory or something about the hero's journey and how like every great story throughout human history kind of follows that same pattern. So Dan Harmon has like a distilled version of that, and it's a story circle, right? So you take the protagonist, you start them off in a place that's familiar and comfortable to them, right? And then you put them in front of something where they want something, right? So they're put in front of something, and suddenly they're not comfortable anymore because they're put in front of something they want, whether it's like a new job, way out of poverty, whatever. So, and in order to get that thing that they want, they go to the next phase in the circle, which is they have to find something or do something. They have to go on their journey. They have to complete a task, right?
Yeah, that's the hero's journey. Like,
yeah.
And then to come out of your comfort zone and like do.
So then the next step of that is supposed to be like where they find it, they get what they want, but at a terrible cost, right? Mm-hmm. So then the next phase of that is they go back to their familiar place, but they've been overall changed, so they're different now. Mm-hmm. It's character growth. Yeah. And so it was funny when I learned it, because I thought that was like really solid. I thought that was like a really fucking tight way to write a story, and I thought about like Rick and Morty episodes, and they do follow the formula, and they even subvert it in a bit on purpose, like knowingly, like you could tell, and it's just really funny, like the like that one episode where Morty had like ethical qualms about Crumbopulous Michael, the space assassin. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, exactly, and it followed that pattern when you break it down, and I was like, wow, he really does do that. But I thought that was really useful. I was like, you know what? If I ever wrote something, I would use that. I would use that hero's journey model.
Well, that's like classic storytelling. That's like the oldest and most like, just like the best way to do that. Because even like one of the oldest like stories that we know is like Beowulf, and we're not entirely sure when that was written, but like Beowulf's the same thing. It's about the hero's journey and like how he rises above, like leaves his comfort zone, fights was it a dragon or whatever. Then he's changed after that, goes back, becomes king of wherever.
Yeah, Dan Harmon also does that. He does some tricky shit sometimes. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched Community. It's a fucking great show.
I haven't, and I know I would probably like it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So like what he does with that, you know, like there's that phase where the character comes back overall changed, and he does this thing where it's like it makes you think that like, oh yeah, you know, like, oh, Rick, for example, he's really going to develop and change as a person because he gives Morty what he wants, and he's like, all right, Morty, if this is it, maybe you're right, maybe science should just be fun. Mm-hmm. And then he gives him what he wants, and then it turns out to have this
when he like reports I want to go on an adventure, and he gets like he gets like sexually harassed.
Yeah, it's like, what's the matter, Morty? I thought this was fun. And you realize at the end of it, it's like Rick didn't change at all. Like,
no, yeah.
And that's what Community does too. It's like like the real lesson in all that is like no one actually fucking changes.
Yeah, but that's like I feel like sitcom writing, like, because like it can go on indefinitely, like nobody really changes that much.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean...
It has to be that way. Otherwise, it doesn't work as a sitcom show.
Well, yeah, no, because then it would have to be like a mini-series or like a more concise story with a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
And like, you know, an arc.
I feel like Rick also like wants to kind of be as naive to believe that he can change and everything can be better, because there's been like instances where like they blatantly showed him trying to kill himself because of like his own mentality and his own jadedness about reality.
Yeah. But I think like one of the things that really does keep him around is his family. Yeah, he would kill himself any day of the week, but then it's always like Morty saying like, "Oh, Rick, I need your help," or Jerry bitching at him.
Yeah, but he also has the knowledge of like infinite other realities. It almost doesn't matter.
And the other thing too,
it makes
like
things insignificant.
And
he knows that.
I haven't watched in season 3, honestly, because I feel like it just kind of got bland or whatever. But like you don't know if like Rick like actually like loves his family, or the fact that like he knows that like a Rick needs a Morty, because like it just balances out properly.
Yeah. That's in that way the show's kind of meta. He's like, "Come on, Morty, we would never have a TV show if it wasn't if we were not together."
You had the whole fucking thing where all the Mortys are being used as fucking torture devices, being stabbed repeatedly just to keep
to
like
block
a Jerry.
out block out that Rick.
Well,
It's a crazy show. See, that's what I'm saying. Dan Harmon is a fucking genius. Like, I think he really knows how to tell a story.
I feel like ever since he got like he started getting accused of like, I don't remember if it was like,
Sexual harassment. Yeah.
Ever since then, I feel like he like got safer. Just like I don't know. I feel like Rick and Morty just wasn't like just got really bland or whatever. And I don't know. Maybe he's more careful about things.
I think Dan Harmon got out lucky because he didn't do anything so like egregious, and honestly, he got it. He made a decision. He like, and I feel like if you're a person in a position of like influence, like Dan Harmon, you get accused of sexual harassment that you did. You could either A, dig your heels in, or you could B, be like, all right, guys,
he was accused. Yeah,
you guys got me.
that doesn't mean
And he acknowledged. He acknowledged like
He said exactly what he did. He was like,
Yeah.
I used my position,
okay.
I knew,
Yeah,
like,
which is-
he didn't like rape anyone. What he did, he said like, I knowingly showed attraction and interest to a junior writer within my
with the implication that like I'm like I can make or break your career type of thing.
Yeah.
Like
he basically acted like that entitled asshole boss who would take advantage of their employees.
and the junior writer would be like in that position like, well, fuck, if I don't do what he wants, like maybe I'll be ruined. Type of thing. Like,
But did he do that knowing that that's the power he had?
No, he did that because he did that because he was high off of his own success, and he just wanted what was coming to him, etc. It's a very common.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as nefarious as people think. Like all these guys, they just knowingly want to go out there and assault women. I think it's really just like a lot of them. I mean, it sounds worse if anything. At least in the first example, like you could have something to rally against, like this evil intent. But if it's the other one where it's like, yup, guys are just big old fuckheads, and you get hurt because of it because there's nothing you can do about it. That's like almost worse to me, like.
yeah. Shit, what was I gonna say?
Sorry, maybe that was a little too heavy to drop.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. It's actually like yesterday I was like talking to Farouk, and like he's like, like the new season of Rick and Morty's out. I'm like, I haven't watched it since like season 3. He's like, neither have I. And now we're like the first thing we talk about.
What do you stream it on? Like, what can I watch it on?
Hulu. Right?
Well, no.
Fucking hate it.
I mean, Dan Harmon's a hot
Just put
name.
everything on Netflix. Don't even have any.
Yeah, those days are done.
Yeah.
Dan Harmon went on my radar because I recently heard of the Community movie coming out, which is crazy.
Yes.
Because that's what they
Heard about
literally promised on the show. It's like we're gonna get 6 seasons in a movie. It's like, which is really funny.
Arrested Development did that. I was actually just watching a thing today because Arrested Development's my favorite show. It's the greatest show ever, but it's my favorite show.
I think Arrested Development is not the best show, but it's one of the best written shows to ever exist.
Yeah, it's not the best show ever, but it's my favorite because
the writing is top
the writing
notch.
and like the time it came out and the layered jokes because
Yeah,
it's still like it took like several rewatches for me to pick up on like new jokes.
No, some jokes would also take like episodes before you get the payoff.
Yeah,
it
and like
was so
fucking that's great.
I think one of the best moments for me was when I think he had a crush. Michael Cera's character, George Michael Jr. had a George Michael had a crush on
Maybe his cousin.
Oh, what, didn't he have one on his teacher?
Yes.
Yeah, and then his aunt came in, and she just completely misread his situation and intent, and she was like, the way it made it look like she would fuck her nephew.
She thought he wanted her as like a mother
Figure, yeah.
But it came off to George Michael that like she's like, I could do that for you. Like her intention being like, I could be your mother figure, but to him, like, she doesn't realize that she was saying that and being like, thinking she wants to fuck him.
That's what I'm saying. That's like brilliant writing.
Oh no, yeah, it's fucking
That's too good. So that's what I like about the show is, in fact, all the power is definitely in top-notch writing. I'm like, shit, that's just too good. Mr. F.
Mr. F.
Hells yeah.
No, the best thing in that show is season 2, the first half of season 2, foreshadowing Buster losing his hand to his seal. And then, like, because when you watch it, like, you don't realize, like, that's what they're doing, and then he loses his hand. And then when you rewatch it, there's so many examples.
Yo, so I got a question.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned Farouk earlier. What happened with his podcast? Like, he just fizzled out? What was the hardest part about, like, the production process for you guys?
Nothing. So the podcast was him and his friend Sachin, and it was supposed to be about, like, I was just, like recording and, like, editing and stuff, and, like, producing.
You edited?
So I edited clips and, like, things like that, like, to post on their Instagram.
Okay.
But the whole point of that podcast was about, like, brown people stuff. I mean, I forget what it was called offhand now. No, but, like,
so automatically you're excluded. Like, you're like, well,
I didn't care. It's fine. I don't care. Like, because Farouk's Pakistani and Sachin is Indian.
Honestly,
so that was what that was about. And Sachin is just not. He'll never watch this. I like him a lot. He's just not funny.
It's just weird.
And he does stand up to it. He's just not funny.
It's just weird to me though. Like, you know, when it comes to like podcasting, it's like a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot would ask me like, what is it about? You know, I think like a lot of those podcasts that are specifically about something, because that, you know, I see the line of reasoning. I see the line of thinking where it's like, all right, I know this really well, so I'll make a podcast about it. I don't think that's good for a podcast. Like, honestly, yes, you see it work a lot for a lot of podcasts, but they're very, they're very few and far between. You know, realistically, like, you know how many people must have started a true crime podcast thinking that, you know, whatever.
I think, like, see, you want a loose format.
No, what I think thing is like there's always a bigger fish. So if you try to go for something specific like that, there's always going to be so many other people who do it better. But if it's like something like where it's just whatever and it's just like you and your friends just shooting the shit, that's a unique thing. Nobody could be us better than us. You know, that's why I think podcasts like those tend to have a ability to last longer, because think about it. I mean, you're gonna run out of things to talk about for a single subject to the point where it's just like monotonous as fuck. But whereas if it's just like shooting the shit, it's like the daily shit of my life, you know?
Yeah, well, like all I'm saying is like it'll definitely, but like just a loose format. So like I watched a couple months ago now, like they did Charlie, Mac, and Dennis from It's Always Sunny started doing their own podcast, and every episode's supposed to be about. You know, they follow it like per episode. The format's supposed to be about like whatever episode in order, but like they barely talk about the episode.
Yeah.
They just like, because they're all like friends, so like they're just like bullshitting, but like that's like the loose format. There's one of them I think where like Charlie's late, and like for the first 10 minutes they're just bitching about how he always complains, like, you know, how they're late.
Yeah.
And he's late.
Sounds like some typical buddy shit.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw Brendan? Like before today?
Probably at the studio a long time ago, when you were still with Lucky
Fox or Hyenas?
Hyenas.
That must have been like more than 10 years ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, because I would have been like.
Damn, that's a
18 or
decade.
something like that.
That's a full 10.
Damn, holy fucking shit.
It's a lot of history.
I'm 33 now.
Yep.
How old are you?
I'm getting old. He's
How
my
old are you
age.
now? I'm 33.
30. Be 31 in
Jeez.
3 months.
I turned 31 in September.
Oh, fuck, I did. Yeah, I did miss your birthday.
No, it's okay. I didn't do anything for my birthday.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I'm over.
Me too.
Okay.
It's like, I don't even feel
like 30, just like, yeah, it's another fucking birthday. Can I?
Yeah, I'm just
does
waiting.
anyone want to pay a bill for me? I just need to go to work.
Yeah,
I'm just
right?
waiting to die.
No, I have work to do. So it's like on my birthday, it's like honestly, it's just another fucking expense to do shit. I got shit to do. Like, I'm sorry, I got music to make.
Well, the town I was in Denton, Texas, every bar you went to gave you a free shot if you proved it was your birthday.
No.
But you'd have to bring like a friend because like.
That's fucked up. You
and
could just
do
go to
the
bar.
crawl, like they'd have to like carry you into a car and like get you home.
You go from bar to bar and just get really fucked up.
Yeah, there's like it's a college town, so they you know. It's just
So it's all
bar.
walking distance too, and like just like
Yeah.
the whole just like they're just like a
like
bar
2 doors
area.
down. There's another bar.
Yeah,
That's fucked up. That's a fucked up policy,
No,
but I
that's-
like it.
that's smarter. Like it's better to have like just a string of bars in like one like cohesive like one concise area.
Yeah.
Rather than like driving fucking like here like driving like back and forth on the island to a bunch of different bars is not feasible.
Yeah, there was like walking distance. It was like, oh, there's a show going on over here. Okay, I'm 2 blocks away. Let's go. You know.
Yeah.
And just show up there and like go to some show. Like, oh, there's another open mic night. Like 2 hours from now, the block, and you just go there.
Yeah.
Everything got boring after COVID and everything, though.
You can see that.
It still wasn't as fun as New York. So.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't. I think about that all the time. It makes me pretty fucking. Makes me feel pretty existential when I'm like. People ask me like, "Would you ever leave Staten Island?" And I'm like, "Sure." But then I think about it. It's like, if I leave Staten Island, would I go to another borough? Like, would I really want to fucking live in Brooklyn? Hell, fucking
This
no.
is like
Would
so,
you really want to live in a fucking another state or city in America? Do you think anything's better than New York fucking city?
You know
I don't
what?
think anything in America is better than New York City.
Yeah.
I would try. I would try another country.
And I thought it was. I was
Another-
jaded.
I would try like Amsterdam. I would try fucking Australia. I would try Japan. Some
Other
shit.
countries
That's
I
a
would
country,
try,
yeah.
but in America I feel like this is the place. To
But
be.
I think
Yeah.
I think even if I went there, ultimately I would probably come back like eventually. Can't not, you know. This is where it's at.
different lifestyle. I mean,
And also, I do take solace in the fact that, like, you know, living here, if World War III suddenly broke out, at least we'd be the first ones to die and not have to deal with it. Because, you know, New York is like a prime target for everyone. Like, we would get nuked first, you know?
I just have
no, I don't. We wouldn't because I mean, well, all right. So if North Korea is going to want to do nukes, their shit can't go very far, and if they ever like were able to reach the U.S., they would go for the West Coast. Same thing with like, well, Russia could reach.
Yeah,
us.
but what, like, I mean, I feel like for that would just be a plus. Like, what, we lose California? Oh,
I'm
no.
okay with that. I have no problem with that. I'm gonna lose them anyway. They're on a fall. You're gonna float into the ocean one day.
Yo, fuck California, man. Those fucking pedophile movie stars. Screw those guys. Those fucking.
Oh no, Hollywood.
Those rich idiots, yo. They don't deserve
Those
that.
rich,
well.
out of touch pieces of shit.
I mean, it is what it is. It is the big leagues because, like, you look at any other country in the world and the way they treat their celebrities. I mean, it's good, but it's not like, you know, Hollywood good.
No, here like we hero worship. Like here, just we like people here worship famous people.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. They're just people who like haven't like they're nothing like you. They don't understand what it's like to be you or your situation.
But they're still a necessary cog in, like, the media zog machine.
They're a necessary cog in like this country like being wealthy.
Yeah.
Like
all right, for example, World War II. You know, you can't say that movie stars didn't have a place in that. Like, they were too busy producing propaganda movies. They played an integral part of that shit.
oh yeah,
you
no,
know?
that's what the media. That's what they did with the media.
Like,
yeah,
fucking, I don't know.
Yo,
Whatever.
I just watched the other day. It popped up on YouTube. A Looney Tunes episode called Dictator Ducks. And it was Hitler, Mussolini, and whoever the emperor of Japan was during World War II as ducks. And my God, was the Japanese emperor really racist and inappropriate. Like, he had the fucking teeth and it was bad.
Hells yeah. Did he have the Fu Manchu mustache?
Yeah.
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 I gotta see
And he
that.
had the way they say R's.
I think I just accidentally joined a cult.
Oh, no.
Can I read the messages?
Is
Yeah.
it the cult that's on the island?
It's come unto Christ.
Is
Come
that-
on Christ?
It's not C-U-M come.
Oh, forget it then. I'm not interested.
No, it's pretty funny what I just got myself into. It's pretty. So
So what did
I
they
don't
say?
know how that just landed on me, but I saw the group and I'm like, I'm just gonna add it and like start messaging them. So it's like, hi Brendan, what questions do you have about missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
Oh, they're Mormons.
And it gives you
What's it called?
options. It gives you options of what to say. So, like, the one thing was, like, can I speak to a missionary? Hi, Brendan. How are you doing? My name is Kennedy, and I'm a missionary right now. Smiley face. I'm like, I'm okay, but I struggle. I struggle with my own desires. I'm baptized in Christ, and this is what I'm saying, and I still have struggles with desires for worldly things. I wish I could wear my ego like a loose garment like Jesus did, and not be attached to my own selfish fulfillment. So he messaged back, or I don't know, whatever that is. And
the fuck you just said?
I think this is a real person now, because it's like, I still struggle with that too, Brendan. I know that as a center of my life around Jesus Christ, that I've been better at resisting temptation. They're listening to me.
Yo, send a
This
picture.
isn't a random.
Send a picture of your dick.
No, we're gonna keep this civil.
No, yeah,
and we're
keep,
gonna
like-
see how far we can get to what they're
keep
about.
them interested. Like, make them think it's...
And then send them a picture.
One way that I do this is by listening to the words of the living prophets. Do you know what the prophet is? And I say, a living prophet? ? We believe that God has given us a prophet to lead and guide us! ! Just like in the Old Testament times with Noah and Moses. Every 6 months, the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, including the prophet, have a conference to address the entire world. It is going on right now, and if you would like, I can send you the link, smiley face. Now what's happening? What do I say now? I gotta keep hitting them with existential questions.
Just say amen, brother or sister.
Amen, brother. Do you like piss?
I would just ask, like, really, like, just like, what would I ask?
No, I'm gonna say I have type 1 diabetes.
Yo, talking to the mic.
Why
man.
why did God give me type 1 diabetes?
Brendan, talking to the mic, man.
Why did God give me type?
If God loves me, why did he give me type 1 diabetes?
Type 1 diabetes. They're gonna have I think this person's gonna have an answer for it.
Oh yeah.
God,
I can't feel my frenulum.
this is such low-level trolling for me. I mean, you're talking to the guy who got the FBI called to his house, all right, because they made threats against Burning Man. That was cool. This is just like low-level shit. You're just picking on the Christians,
when I
man.
pee.
You gotta
Yeah,
pick on
it's
someone
so
your.
easy.
You gotta pick on someone your own size. The fucking Burning Man people. When I threatened to do a domestic terrorist attack on them, and the FBI
really.
showed up.
Well, I mean, see, what he's doing is much more playful. Threatening to, harm people is not...
It's awesome.
It's very easy at the FBI to knock on your door if you, like, threaten to bomb somebody.
Not somebody, but Burning Man people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
get... They get extra, like,
Would the world turn out worse for that? I wonder.
if we bombed a bunch of hippies, that, like...
They're the worst than hippies, dude. They're like the pro managerial class, the proletariat managerial class or something. They're like the worst kinds of people. Basically, they're not working class, but they're not rich. They just blindly follow the rich people. They're like Big Brother who tells Bigger Brother on you.
I'm not that worried about people that go to Burning Man.
I'm not worried about them either, to be honest. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
And you know what? It makes sense that the FBI would show up because, like, I'm pretty sure like some high-profile people go to that event.
Oh, sure, yeah. I want to, because you brought up the Mormons. So I didn't like, the first time I heard about Mormons was like from that South Park episode, right?
Yeah.
A couple of years or so ago, I watched this documentary. Ken Burns's The West, I think, is what it's called. And it goes into like the history of like, the American West or whatever. And at one point he gets into the Mormons. And so the Mormons like were seen as this crazy, they started in upstate New York, and they were seen as this crazy radical group. So the state of New York kicked them out. And they kept moving west until they finally got to every place they went to as they were moving west, they were kicked out because they were radicals, they were fucking weird.
They were weird. I was thinking,
and like there was a lot of them, so it was kind of alarming because it's like we don't know what to fucking do with these guys. So that's why Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah is like their like fucking spot because they went all the way there where there was nobody, and like that was their center.
There's no one there to kick them out.
Yeah, because at that time it's like send them to like I don't think Utah was a state yet. It was like send them there, like let them go there. It's fine. So
it's Mormon country.
It got to the point, but it got to the point where there was a fucking lot of them out there, and the U.S. government got worried, like about like how many numbers there were and like how if they're like how radical they could be or could not be, because Joseph Smith is fucking insane, and just the polygamy and things like that, just because he wanted to fuck a bunch of like women. So whatever. So the U.S. government sends a cavalry out there.
Yeah.
To check on them. The Mormons killed them.
The Mormons beat the cavalry?
Yes. They shot them. They shot them all, and then framed it like it was Native Americans in the area that did it.
Oh shit!
By leaving like bows and arrows and things like that. But the American government, on closer inspection, didn't believe that. So they sent the army there, and they arrested Joseph Smith and locked him up in jail. And then a bunch of Mormons tried to break him out. So Joseph Smith, the leader of the Mormon church, died escaping prison, killed 5 people on his way out before he was shot to death.
That's so.
And this is a religion.
He's so badass.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
You know what?
I mean,
you ever play that Far Cry game, the one that takes place in America? I think it was Far Cry 5 or 6.
A couple of them takes place. Oh, the one with the religious fanatic leader,
The
right?
cult, yeah.
Yeah, that was like 4, maybe whatever. Yeah, I played that one.
That one was fucking awesome. That was my favorite one. I mean, there were some like problems with it, I guess, but yeah, it was like literally playing on that. How like it's often forgotten how like in America we have these like fanatic cults and they just post up right here, live amongst us. And they integrate and they have radical beliefs. I mean, you called it radical. I would call it fanatical. Like it's fanatic shit. It's like
yeah, fanatical is probably a better word to use than radical.
Yeah. So and if that and it's insidious because it's not material driven. It's based purely on like maybe ideology or like.
Oh, no, it was material driven. Like I mean.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So the point I was getting to is that the Mormon stuff could have probably worked out a lot better without the religious aspect of it. If it was just like their principle or way of life or something, or just a people or an ethnicity even, like I feel like because they did some effective shit.
The selling point of Mormonism was that that he discovered, a third book of the Bible, and it was based in America.
It's not fan fiction. This is canon.
Yes, this is canon to the Church of Latter-day Saints. It's canon that he found a New Testament buried in upstate New York, that Jesus was here somehow.
Yo, you are like the resident theologist among us right now because you did plenty of Bible studies and religious studies because you went to Catholic school.
Yeah, I went to a private Baptist elementary school and middle school, and then went to Catholic school after that, and was raised Catholic.
Yeah. Yo, could you do me a favor? Could you talk a little closer to the mic?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I review my progress in this conversation?
Yes. Tell us about this epic troll, Brendan.
Oh, okay. So the last thing that was said, that he said, every 6 months, leaders of Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, including the Prophet, have a conference to address the entire world. It is going on right now, and if you would like, I can send you the link. And I said, why did God give me type 1 diabetes? and then I said, then I said, it stings when I urinate. It's getting really hard to maintain an erection. I want to have kids and raise them to be obedient, God-loving, non-binary trans people.
But I pee the bed, so I can't.
I want to have kids and raise them to be obedient, God-loving, non-binary trans people.
Be like,
and then they said,
"Tell them you're gay."
I believe that we are here on earth to experience trials so we can develop faith in Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, though, that you're struggling with so many things. And I said, I'm afraid of my children being homosexuals and furries. Even though I'm single and I can't find an obedient woman who follows the path of Christ.
Oh, my God.
Ask him how Joseph Smith died.
How did Joseph Smith die?
Oh, no.
Was his kids furries?
One of his kids probably, or great-grandkids or something.
I want obedient, God-loving, non-binary trans furries, and I can't have it.
Damn, Mormon. Who knew the Mormons were so
This
intense?
person's, I think it's a real person. I don't think this is like an automated message.
No,
This person thinks they're a missionary and they're talking to me. This is gold.
It's, you know why? Because it's sincere. It comes from a sincere place. This person is an actual believer, if that's the case,
And like
that
people
makes
who,
it even funnier.
And people who are like religious people
it does.
like aren't, bad people necessarily. Like I don't hate them. Like they're lost people who like take comfort in.
They haven't left the cradle, the intellectual cradle.
yeah, they take comfort in like having that responsibility of thinking for themselves like taken away from them, and it's just easier to do that.
Well, it's also like, what if they did try like thinking for themselves and then they fucked their life up so bad, but then they turned to Christ and their life improved?
That's what I mean. Like it's like the whole thing. Always like people always say like is like give yourself up to a higher power.
Yeah.
How much easier is it to like go like what? It's not my fault. I'm a fucking drug addict, drunk
I just
degenerate.
asked them, what do I do if my child is a homosexual furry?
Burn him.
I want to see what they say. I had to say furry to make it sillier.
Yeah. Yo, Brendan.
I could have just ended it with.
It's a legitimate fear.
You said you were a bit religious, right? When you went through rehab and shit.
I'm not religious.
No, but you kind of did like lean on that tool. Like,
You do. You try to lean on something that's. If your human faculties fail, you're looking for something. It just and that's why I think it's kind of fucked up to. It's like they kind of sometimes force religious beliefs, and not just like anything. Like they say any religion, but then they force Christianity on you.
AA is run by Christians.
Not exactly. I did.
Like
I looked at my history, and I've been in it. I actually respect it a lot. The 12 steps I think are great for anyone to do. Actually, if you really want to go to the deep and be totally brutally fucking honest with yourself, which you won't do unless you're fucked. I think it helps if you're humbled and you're like, oh my god, I fucked everything up, so I might as well. And it kind of helps. But those guys were into the occult. Their whole process comes from Carl Jung, the process of individuation, going through your shadow, being brutally honest with your shadow self. And that's why they say, oh yeah, tell God, but also tell another human being, because what if God isn't real? At least you said it to one other human that I have these feelings, I've thought of this. Even the deepest, darkest things, the sickest things that you feel embarrassed about, you have to say to another human being in order to recover from that state of mind and an addiction. And I think that that's good for anyone to do. I think.
No, absolutely.
It's catharsis, psychology 101.
You can't and know what I really like about AA? There's no room for victimization. You can't play the victim. Well, this happened to me because this person did this to me. What did you do in the past to bring yourself to this situation that put you in harm's way? It's your fault. And you really have to kind of you can't play the blame game with the 12 steps. The 12 steps is all your side of the street. Yeah, I did this because this person did that. No, you worry about your bad things. It doesn't matter what they did. What did you do? Either in a retaliation or to make that person retaliate in a certain way towards you. And you have to take full responsibility. I think a lot of people who become addicts are people who really can't. I've been that way. Can't deal with reality. Can't deal with
And you skirt responsibility and just blame everybody else for everything else.
Because I was fucking. This happened to me. Okay, but that might have happened to you. Yes, but it's up to you what you do about it. Like there's been times where I was looking for drugs or something, and I got into a situation where somebody tried to take advantage of me. Somebody tried to do something sexual to me. I can say, oh, it's that person's fault. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't be such a sicko, but at the same time, why the fuck was I there? Should I have been there? No. I was doing something I probably shouldn't have been doing, and that's what got me in that situation. I got to take responsibility for that. I have to be responsible enough to be like, there's dangerous people in the world. And if I'm doing dumb shit, I'm going to be involved with these dangerous people. That's my fault. That's my side of the street. And I don't have to worry about that. Even if I've done something wrong to somebody because out of retaliation, I have to be able to be like, I'm sorry. And a lot of times when you do come clean about that, like, I'm sorry for doing this, a lot of people become more humble. People lose the defensive stance and go, you know what, I'm actually sorry because I did this and that's why you did that. It's like a Chinese finger trap. The more you pull and resist, the tighter it gets. Yeah. And when you just go, you know what, I'm sorry, it just falls off, kind of deal. It makes sense.
No, it does. Absolutely. Like if you're showing vulnerability also brings other people's walls down. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when you're at each other, everyone's like fucking bullhorns. Everyone's on the defense, even if they know they're wrong. They're like, I'm wrong, but you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm gonna fucking defend myself.
I don't want to look weak or wrong or anything like that.
They just come unto Christ. Just responded back. They said, I asked, what do I do if my child is a homosexual furry? You still love them no
Valid
matter
point.
what. Wow.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What if they're black?
Sometimes kids make
Oh, no, it's
choices
Lutheran.
that you
That's
don't
Lutheran,
agree
never
with.
mind. That's
Wait, no,
Lutheran.
this is-
Never
no,
mind.
this
Never
is
mind.
actually- okay, I'm gonna. This is. Damn.
No, that's Lutherans. I'm sorry.
I think they're about to convert me. This guy's fucking accepting as fuck. He said, sometimes kids make choices that you don't agree with, but it is still your job to love them. Wow. And let them know they have a place to call home.
I could be wrong, but I thought Mormons disown you.
You can't fucking... You can't make that sound bad. Whatever that fucker just said, that's like some Mr. Rogers shit.
Yeah, but like Mormons, like they'll like
Mormons
They'll
are pretty
just-
fucking good.
Now you're automatically converted. It's like, you know what? These guys won me over. That guy deserves a raise. That one guy made me think these Mormons aren't right after all.
Holy shit. I feel like at this point I should be like, dude, I've been trying to troll you.
that's what he wants. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't
do that. It's what he
No,
wants.
I really want. But
Don't give in.
I think you're actually a righteous dude. Actually, fuck. I'm sorry. Believe in whatever you want to believe in. I think you're doing great at being a human.
No, like, I don't like people who are religious. Like they're not bad people. They are like a lot of them are generally like people who like are trying to do what they think is the right thing and a nice thing, and like that's fine. It's just people who run and control religions is like what I despise and hate. Like
Yeah, that stuff is real not good. It's
yeah,
caca.
like
It's doo-doo.
Catholics, they're fine. It's not their fault. But the Catholic Church is the most evil fucking like entity to ever exist.
Really, I like the Catholic Church.
Yeah, because like they've been doing a lot of PR in the last like
feel
few
bad.
years.
Well, you know what? The Catholics make good art. I think
I've been
out of-
trying to bring out the worst in this person, and it
think-
didn't work. I feel like
Yeah, look at
I
you.
owe them so. Yeah,
You deserve
look at
it.
yeah.
So yeah, I think Catholics have the best aesthetic.
Killed you with kindness.
They-
Aesthetic?
they-
Yeah, out
Yes.
of all the religions, like that.
Well, yeah, they have they have their own like Vatican City is like they own
gotta
that.
pee.
That's
I'll be
theirs.
right
That's
back.
insane, dude. It's like it's all beautiful, like the stained glass shit, the idolatry with the fucking statues and all that shit.
Well, yeah, but like the Catholic Church was like the richest, most powerful entity like
were the
ever
ballers.
since Constantine made it the official religion of the Roman Empire, and like from then like throughout the Middle Ages, like yeah, like they ran shit.
It's baller shit.
You couldn't if you wanted to become like king or emperor, like you wanted the blessing of the fucking the Pope.
Yeah, I do like the Catholic stuff. I mean, honestly, I guess maybe it's just from being raised in Staten Island so long, but I think girls of the Catholic descent are just probably the hottest.
Well, yeah, because Catholics are just all repressed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you act out, it's like it's extra. Like there's like there's Jewish what I call it, like there's Jewish guilt that like Jewish people talk about.
Yeah.
And like and then I feel like there's Catholic shame, which is what like I feel.
Yo, you want to hear a funny story? Speaking of Jewish guilt, you mentioned it, so this is what. Anyway, remember that girl Marina, the one I used to live with in Coney Island?
Yeah, vaguely, yeah.
She's dead now, by the way.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she died of an overdose.
Ah, of what?
I don't know, probably
Dope.
fentanyl, something.
Oh.
She was overdosing, and she was like in the West Coast somewhere, and the guy she was with just like left her. A complete stranger. Like I think he like met her that day or something, and then he just like she started ODing, and he just left her and drove away. Some shit like that. Well, anyway,
God damn.
so yeah. So when I was still living with Marina, I come home one day, and this is a point when like I had recently lost my keys, and she knew that. So I was like, I was telling her, I was like, yo, I have to ring the buzzer, so just let me in when I do. She was like, yeah, sure. So I go to work, and I come back, and then like I try to get into my apartment. I ring the buzzer, no answer, right? So I call her again. Fucking no answer. So I keep ringing it, and then she comes down herself, and she's like, listen, there's a situation. I'm like, what? She goes, me and Frankie, her boyfriend, me and Frankie were just like walking down Neptune, and this Hasidic Jewish guy saw us, and he offered us $600 to watch us fuck, like just watch. And I was like, and then she was like, and he's like upstairs in the living room. I'm like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. So I was like, well, can I at least go in? She was like, yeah,
Good
but
deal.
she was like, yeah, but you gotta like stay in your room. You can't come out. He doesn't want to be seen. I'm like, okay. So like, I walk in, and then like I go inside to get something from the living room that I left before I lock myself in my room, and I go in, and then I see Frankie with his shirt off, and the lights were like in purple mode, and he was like, "What's up?" I was like, "Hey, Frankie," and then I look at the balcony door. And there's like a figure obviously hiding behind the curtains and like black leather shoes sticking out from underneath. And I'm like, oh my God. And yeah, they did it. And he paid them.
All right, I said, after he
Jewish
said
guilt.
that righteous stuff, I said, yes, I believe that. And then I'm being more sincere now. And I said,
Playing into his hand, man.
does God accept and lead us into heaven if we have love for our fellows but still have our doubts about him? Now I'm just curious. This person's not a dumbass.
No.
And I assume
I'm always
some
feeling
generic fake shit.
I'm
And,
always
and
feeling
now
worse.
I'm like actually intrigued. This is like fucking my night up.
Religion's garbage. All of them.
I like to give everything the benefit of the doubt before I disprove it.
That's fine, yeah. It's a sensible way of going about things.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much religion. There's something to it.
Yeah, power, control.
I don't know if that's completely the
That's it.
There's so many, maybe like some forms of Christianity.
Most Western religions.
Abraham.
All the
Yo,
Abrahamic
Chris, were you
religions.
raised religious?
I was raised Catholic.
That
That doesn't even count.
No. So I'm
No one's
like,
devout
no,
Catholic.
no. I was like, but like I was like I legit like believed everything and bought it and like that was on my mind. Like I wasn't. My parents aren't.
Did you feel guilty
Or-
every time you whacked off? You were like, oh my God, I'm going to hell.
I feel guilty. Like there's still shit that like in the back of my head like feels wrong.
That's trauma.
or yeah.
What if it isn't?
You're
What
like,
if it
yeah.
isn't trauma though? What if there is an instinctual like this is wrong?
Yeah, it's. I think
feels
I think
instinctual
it's,
sometimes,
I think it's
right?
wrong because of like how I was raised, and because like that, like I was indoctrinated. Like there's so what do you call it? I remember at one point. So I was raised Catholic. When I moved to Staten Island, I went to a Baptist-run private school. I didn't know. I thought there were Catholics and Jews. I thought those were the only two religions at that point in my life. And then I go to this Baptist school, and then I find out like what Protestants are, which I'm like, all right, that's weird. Like we kind of believe the same things, but then we don't.
They're going to hell.
So no. So I had this and I had a Bible class like every year like I was there. So we had this one guy, Pastor Jeremiah. We had a pop quiz on the Ten Commandments. I'm a good little Christian boy, and like so when you're raised Catholic and you don't go to Catholic school, you have to go to CCD.
Yeah,
This
I
way,
remember
yeah.
those kids.
Yeah,
CCD. I
Yeah.
remember the school bus dropped.
We
kids
thought
off
you
at
got to
CCD.
leave early, but really you were going to church.
We're going to like another hour of school.
Yeah.
It's just
So-
1 hour though to learn some.
So all right. So
I was jealous at first, but I'm like, oh, they have to go some other fucking building and do
Yeah,
this shit
yeah.
now.
So so like I like because I go to CC all the time. Like I know the Ten Commandments. I know like the back of my hand.
Do you know the
we get-
Hail Mary prayer?
Yes,
I
I know
do.
the Our Father, the Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed art thou among women, blessed art thou.
I
can
know
do
the
that.
Lord's Prayer by heart.
Yeah, Our Father.
It's called being in AA.
So I know the Ten Commandments. I do it all the time in CCD. So we have this pop quiz at this private Baptist school I go to. I'm like, oh, word, done. I write down every single one. So at the end of the class, like, he grades them. At the end of the class, he hands it back to me, and I have 3 wrong.
What?
I got 3 of them wrong, and like I'm like a timid kid, so I'm like I get it, and I'm like I know these are the Ten Commandments. So I go up to the teacher.
Oh, no.
Man,
This
like
is gonna
who
be
doesn't
good.
have a teaching degree? He's just a Baptist pastor, and I'm like, hey, like I think you made a mistake because I know the Ten Commandments.
He's like, no, young man.
And he's like, no, he's like, you're wrong. I'm like, dude, I go to CCD, like, I know what they are.
I
And
think
he's
I
like,
know what's coming.
yeah, and he's like, no, he's like, see, like, Catholics, like, they have it wrong.
There it is.
And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, like, it's something where, like, they're in a different order, and we repeat one of them or something, is what he was saying. He's like, you guys are wrong. I'm like, I'm like, how could I? I'm like, aren't we the same? Like, how could I be wrong? I'm like, are you telling me like, I'm practicing the wrong religion? He's like, yes. I'm like, so you're like, I'm like, so I'm going to go to hell. He's like, well, if you don't, like change and like look at it our way, like yes, like you guys do idolatry, you do this and that. Like I was 8 years old and an adult told me I was going to hell.
Dude, they're just jealous.
For practicing a different flavor of the same religion.
Yo, they're just jealous that Catholics have bigger penises. That's really what it is.
Do we?
I'm pretty sure.
That's not a proven thing. Don't listen to him.
Well, I'm making him feel better. Like you're sitting there like, no, don't listen to him. You do not have the bigger.
Crazy idea.
You can't convince me my penis is bigger than it is.
Everyone's penis is fine. Okay.
Everyone's dick is...
Except the Catholic penis is just a little bigger.
Well, yeah, because when you're about 8 years old, the priest comes and he rubs it for you. And then...
Yes. Luckily, I wasn't there. So, I've had my penis touched by multiple other dudes trying to, do things.
I still think Catholics have the best aesthetics. Like the whole, the art and stuff, like the paintings and shit.
Well, yeah, because they, so if you were an artist back during the Renaissance,
you were paid by a
you
Catholic
were paid
patron,
by, yes,
yeah.
that was your patron. You were paid by the Catholic Church to paint all this religious stuff. And, like, that's why, we have Michelangelo...
But a lot of those same painters painted like Greek mythology shit too.
Well, it's all taken from that. Catholicism became intertwined with
those old
Romans,
of,
and Romans were obsessed with Greece.
Yeah.
So that's why it's just so intertwined and it's.
Yo, you could put those strawberries in a bowl and bring it out if you want.
Some of them seem like they're about to get moldy.
All right, so then let's eat them.
Don't eat the moldy ones.
Yeah, strawberries. So the story behind the strawberries.
It's the story behind those strawberries.
Like a couple weeks back, my neighbor lady locked herself out, and she wanted to use my back door entrance to get to her back door entrance. So I was like, yeah, sure, go for it. And then 2 days ago, she stopped me. She was like, I want to thank you for that. And I was like, all right. She handed me some fruit. I was like, it's not necessary.
That's
she was
nice.
like, no, please, I insist. And I said, okay. Anytime you get locked out, just knock on my door and hopefully I'm home and I'll let you on through.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. I already pissed off my upstairs neighbors, so I got to help out my current floor neighbors. So I built some good rapport in the building.
Yeah. Why'd you piss upstairs off? The smell of pot or the
It was Brendan singing and shit. Like
pissed off upstairs?
Yeah, he sings loud. He really.
Well, you
projects.
mean you don't have enough furniture in here. It's very echoey. There's not enough shit in here to.
A lot of acoustics.
Yeah. Yes.
It's true. So yeah, I gotta furnish it. The only thing is, it's I'm enjoying this open floor plan too much. It just makes me feel.
Oh, this is nice.
It just makes me feel productive. It's I don't need much shit. I just need what I need, and then I just I'm able to focus better. What is having more shit gonna improve my workflow? It's really not. And I got a lot of shit on my plate as it is.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily more shit improves your workflow, but having a good amount of shit makes you feel at home, makes you feel more comfortable or accomplished if you have the things that you think you should have.
Yeah, I guess I'm in that phase where it's it just almost doesn't matter to me. I'm we're gonna be dead anyway. Who cares? You want some strawberries? Fresh strawberries?
No, I'm okay actually. Thank you.
What did you put on it?
Is that sugar?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Why don't you put sugar on strawberries? Already sweet.
Mmm.
Yeah, but that's good.
Well, sugar makes everything better.
Strawberries do be tasty. So yeah, that was nice. That was a nice little karmic return for me. I did a nice thing in return. Nice thing happened to me. I was like,
yeah, no, that's sweet. That's very nice.
Yeah. It makes sense in the universe,
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say no. That would have been awkward. It would have been worse.
That'd be pretty. I would like to see an interaction.
Yeah.
No.
Clearly, that was the right choice. I was like, yes, this is absolutely what I must do.
See, if out of nowhere, if someone offered me strawberries, I'd be really, I'd just be very cautious. I'd be like, why? What's wrong with them? What did I do?
Strawberries are good. I don't know.
No, she had a bag full of fruit and produce, and she just handed me the first thing that was there, and I was like, all right, whatever, I'll take it.
Are these from a supermarket?
I guess so.
Oh, fuck her then.
What if they had a garden?
They're not in
Just
season.
pick these strawberries. They're your neighbor.
A strawberry garden? They're not in season. I don't know when
We
they're in
grow a
season.
lot of shit in my house, so We
I've
give all
been
our
back
neighbors
there, yeah.
like eggplant and zucchini and cucumbers and watermelons. And
Yo,
shit.
I didn't like tomato until like I actually had a
fresh-
tomato someone like grew in their backyard.
God.
I was like, holy shit! I'm like, this is a fruit.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, this tastes good.
I ate eggplant straight from the garden today, from our garden, and eggplant.
Did you deep throat it?
Okay, no, because eggplant aren't supposed to be long like that. They actually look like eggs when they're natural.
Well, I mean, like we like stuff a bunch.
Yeah,
of,
we fucked our shit up. They were actually the reason they're probably called eggplant because they're shaped like eggs, like big eggs.
Huh?
Yeah. And I never thought that even our like modern eggplant doesn't look like a dick. Like you could use a fucking zucchini or a cucumber. Why do you use a fucking eggplant as the fucking universal symbol for cock?
Well, they have that curve. I don't know about you. There's a curve.
Yeah, there's a curve.
And they're nice. They're thick. I mean, I would like my dick to be.
Curve, and it's shaped more like a dick than a fucking eggplant. Eggplant's not shaped like a dick.
Yeah, but I don't.
Anyway.
I mean, if you're not circumcised,
Unless
I would
you
say
have like
yes.
the
a banana.
craziest, like I can't fit it in you chode ever.
You know what you should get, Brendan? You
Take
guys,
an eggplant and try to shove it in. It's not gonna work.
Yo, I'm gonna try to convince your
The
brother.
eggplant's not even strong enough to resist.
Yes,
that
the
kind of,
eggplant is
pressure.
an unrealistic standard for a penis analogy. We gotta,
It'll
but,
crumble.
Listen, we gotta convince your brother to get chickens.
Seamus?
Dude, we just go travel Staten Island. This chick, I was walking up the block to my job the other day. And
No,
there's,
I
like,
think you guys should get.
just fucking chickens
dude,
hanging out.
You get your own fucking chickens.
I think you could just get chickens.
Yeah, just get chickens.
You can't like Zuka was telling me like she's not allowed to have chickens.
What? Really?
She never told you that? And like in PA, like she wanted to get chickens. Someone was gonna give her one, and like they won't let her have chickens.
She can't build her own
Like
chicken.
by
pen?
law?
Hmm?
Like the law?
Yeah, like it's like you like I don't
Yo,
I don't know what exactly, but she's not allowed. Like with the township or whatever doesn't allow them to
That's
have
fucked
chickens.
up.
Yeah.
But anyway, are you going to her party in October that you were invited to? That I know you were.
Yeah, I'll probably go.
Yo, we're going.
Okay, yeah, I'll go.
That's gonna be cool.
It's a couple days, right? You're gonna be sleeping
Is
there.
it?
Yeah, last.
Oh no, it's one. Yeah,
Yeah, last
yes.
party we slept there.
Yeah,
That was a fun party.
I gotta be really
I wonder if
fucking
she-
prepared.
that was fun because of us.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, because we were together, like gay buddy boys.
Well, there was one, two. It was me, you, Anthony, and James.
Yeah. It was us gay boys. Who is that not James guy?
Anthony.
I loved him, dude. He was
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
And-
He's
and
so
he liked you,
he's
yeah.
so cool.
Okay, I really lost this trolling thing. I thought I was gonna troll some Christ person, and they're
He's
winning.
trolling
They
you.
they won.
Yeah.
As okay, the last one was like, does God accept us? This is what I said. Does God accept us and lead us into heaven if we have love for our fellows, but still have our doubts about Him? And said, having questions is not a sign of weakness or a lack of faith. Actually, asking questions can help build faith. It is important. Oh, hold on. It is important what you do with those doubts, though. Seeking answers in the scriptures, in the words of God's prophets, and through prayer. And I said, what scripture? As a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I read the King James Version, which is a bullshit version, though.
Is it?
Of the
That's not a bullshit.
I think it's pretty good, actually.
That's the.
well,
I mean,
that's why all the other ones are gone.
Okay.
And the Book of Mormon. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. By the way, there's this third book we found in upstate New York that was written on golden tablets that only Joseph Smith could translate.
Oh, no. This dude's like 19, and he calls himself an elder. They don't live long. I know that these two work together to testify of Jesus Christ and help us have the fullness of this gospel. Those
Fill me up,
two,
Jesus.
with prayer, help me find the answers to all my questions. I'm gonna really ask. I'm not gonna be using a troll. I'm not gonna be a troll right now.
You threw him a fastball down the middle.
I don't need to. I'm gonna be.
That's what you
sincere.
did. You were like,
I'm
just-
really gonna ask legitimate questions. Like, how do you?
Chris, let me ask you something.
How do you believe in this without reservations?
No, while this story develops with the whole Mormon thing, Chris, recently I watched the baseball game at Dave & Buster Sports Bar / Arcade, and the teams that were competing, that were participating in the sporting event, happened to be two names that stick out, specifically in this combination. And I want to ask you if it was a big deal when recently the Boston Red Sox faced the New York Yankees.
You're asking me if that's significant?
Yeah.
Well, they have a rivalry that's existed for quite a long time.
Yeah, but was the game that just happened like a big deal? Like, was it a?
It's a big deal in the sense that like because one player, Aaron Judge, is on pace to break the single season home run record.
Okay.
But like he, technically he's not. So the record in 1961, Roger Maris hit 61 home runs, which beat Babe Ruth's record. That was the home run record for a single season. In the like 97 or 98, Mark McGwire broke the record and hit like, I forget what he hit. He had 60 or something. But like Mark McGwire was on steroids. And then Barry Bonds beat it the next year and hit like 73 or whatever the fuck it was.
Wait, Mark
and
McGwire was for the Cardinals?
Yes.
And Barry Bonds was for the
Giants.
Giants, okay.
But they were both on steroids.
Okay.
So everyone knows that now. And like, so it's a big deal that he's going to break the last clean player that like had the record.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So wait, both those 60 home runs got fucking
Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire were doing steroids while they were playing.
So it's not doesn't count anymore?
No, it counts. But people want to to people like it'll to them like it'll count cuz he'll be clean.
So the unofficial official record is what you're saying.
Yes.
All right. That makes sense. I could see that. I could
to me like if he hit he only has like I think 5 games left. And to hit the next one, he's tied it. So the next one he hits will be 62 and the one to break it. And I'm not a Yankee fan, but like I would be really happy to see him do it.
Well, also the guy who could beat the most natural record on like non-roids. Imagine putting him on roids. Like, what could he do? You know? Like,
well, there was Albert Pujols was on pace to hit his 700th career home run this year. And everyone everyone wants to see that because he was clean. So like I was on Reddit and like people were talking. They were like, "Yo, just let him do steroids, just so like we can guarantee he hits them." Like, come on, like it'll be nice. It'll be a nice moment. Just let him do steroids and like let him fucking hit 700 home runs.
Okay, I have no idea what they're gonna respond to this, but I said, "How do you believe in this without reservations, without doubting? It's hard for me. I've read my Bibles, and I've read the Book of Mormon. I've read the Book of Mormon while in Denton, Texas. I've had a lot of conversations with the elders and missionaries. It's hard to believe Jesus Christ was in America, and the part where Native Americans used to be white."
Oh, they were like, I think like God like cursed them.
He's probably gonna say something
why
really fucking intelligent about this. Watch this fucking guy.
No, I think I could be wrong. Like they bear like the reason why Native Americans
I have a feeling he's gonna
white,
win this whole thing.
If I remember correctly,
because he has the power of God and anime on his side,
and he's probably a really nice guy. Like he's being genuine. But I'm pretty sure the reason why Native Americans aren't white, as far as Mormonism is concerned, is because they were cursed. They bear the mark of Cain, who killed his brother.
So dark means evil.
Yes.
That's totally fucked, man.
Yes.
That's just fucking like
religion.
wait, so are the Asians dark? Or just dark?
They had no fucking idea you guys existed.
Oh, yeah.
They had
just make sure you lock up your bike before you go into that store.
I mean, fucking the fact that Jesus is a blue-eyed, long brown-haired man, like white man, is fucking ridiculous.
King James. The picture of Jesus is supposedly the prince of King James painted and like put as a portrait. This was Jesus.
I think pictures or portraits existed before then. The whole point, because they wanted to, so the early like Christians wanted to make Christianity more relatable to non-Jews. So that's why Jesus is like looks like that and is portrayed different. Like so, like the Gospels, right? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They're all like separate letters.
Just like Chinese Buddha is like fat Buddha.
Well, there's different. There's different.
Like, why would Buddha be a glutton?
There's different Buddhas.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the point is, yes, it's to appeal to somebody.
Yeah.
So the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, were all written by them to a different audience. and that's why like there's 4 different stories about like what happened with Jesus. So like I want to say Matthew wrote to Jewish people to like and like made a point and made sure he made a lot of comparisons to what they thought the Messiah was supposed to be. Whereas Luke wrote to people who weren't Jewish, so his version's like a bit different. He doesn't bother like trying to show the comparisons between the Jewish Messiah and Jesus. Like he wrote to Gentiles. So
Fuck the Gentiles.
the whole thing
man.
is like Christianity was supposed to be, it's the most marketable religion there is.
It is. It really is. But the Jewish religion is the most pragmatic religion there is.
Yes.
But
And God is completely different in the
I
Old
had a
Testament.
coworker who became Jewish as a joke, but he actually he had to get a rabbi from Israel to come and talk to him and convert him and like talk to him and like officially make him Jewish, and he even had like a little knife on him to like just in case like
He has
it's
to
like
circumcise him.
you still have your schnozzle. It's like, no.
So I
okay, so I don't need to do this, I guess. But like he would like still like he was like, why do you want to be Jewish? He's like, and like my friend like lied. He was like, I just like looked over all the religions and I thought this one made the most sense. He's like, oh, that's good, that's good. You know, and, like he's legitimately like officially legally Jewish now, and he makes like the worst Jew jokes ever. He's hilarious. He's a comedian actually. He like does comedy shows and stand up, but he's legally Jewish.
He's
Yeah.
Jewish.
But he makes like the like the jerky boys kind of fucking style jokes about Jews.
Did you hear about the rabbi and the...
Jerky boy style.
No, like the
That's a
jerky
throwback
boys.
reference.
Fuck Seinfeld. Like no, this is like real.
Who are these people?
You know, Saul Rosenberg. I think the guy who does the voice of Saul Rosenberg is also the guy who does the voice of the pharmacist, red-haired dude, Jewish guy, in Family Guy.
Oh,
I got sand on my ass nipples. It really hurts. I'm gonna sue you.
Oh, Mort. I think the guy who does Cleveland's voice also does him.
No.
Oh, who's Sam Rosen?
Saul Rosen. Can you
Saul-
put on a jerky voice?
After
I'd
this.
rather not do that.
Okay.
But you know what? We only have a few minutes to go, so let's just spend the last few minutes reflecting on current events. I mean, what's the most current event that you know of? What can I think of? I could think of. Let's see. Russia recently had this whole celebration of their new annexed territories that is now included in the Russian Federation. Basically, they just stole a bit of Ukraine and then they now calling it Russia.
Well, yeah, they're
Isn't it
liberators.
Russia?
What?
Isn't Ukraine Russia?
No.
No.
No, that's the whole point.
Brendan.
Russia's like Ukraine. They want to be Russian.
Okay.
Ukraine's like, no, we don't.
Brendan.
We want to be
Don't
Ukraine.
gang up on me.
Brendan, please. Like, wait, so, we're gonna have a long talk after this.
We're gonna have a long talk after this episode about the Ukraine and Russia and how different they are.
No, they're not different at all, but they're different sovereign. They're different.
No,
sovereign
they're
nations.
different in sense. So like, it's part of like ever since the USSR Soviet Union like dissolved, like they used to like Russia used to be when it was the Soviet Union used to be much bigger. They had like a whole bunch of countries in Eastern Europe. Like they were huge, and like after they fell apart, all those countries declared their independence because they had their own unique cultures.
Yes.
Like Russia, actually, people don't even realize, like, Russia is made up of a lot of different cultures.
Yo, Chris, did you notice that most of our Russian-speaking friends aren't really Russian?
Yeah, they're all like Eastern Europeans.
Like Moldovan,
Moldovan,
or
from Azerbaijani.
Yeah.
Like they're not. They speak Russian because that was Russia's like sphere of influence. But like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of different cultures that exist in Russia.
It was weird. That whole war really made me reflect on that. I was like, most of my friends who speak Russian aren't actually Russian. They're all like something else.
Yeah, Ukrainian, Uzbeki.
Yeah.
Uzbekistan isn't Russian?
No, no, and they would not like it if you said that.
My first girlfriend was Uzbekistan. I thought it was Russian.
No.
If you say babushka, you're fucking Russian.
No, they speak Russian because they also have their own dialects, but they all generally speak Russian because of the Soviet Union. Russia when it was the Soviet Union, like it was a lot bigger. They weren't like Uzbekistan didn't exist. I mean, it existed, but it was under the fucking umbrella of the Soviet Union.
Which was the one country of the East.
Yes. So my friend is from.
their politics.
Have you heard of the country of like Azerbaijan? It's near Iran. They look like they look Middle Eastern, but they're Jewish and Russian, because Russia just happened to control that area.
Yeah, there's also these weird Asian Euro fusions in the Soviet umbrella.
Yeah,
countries.
that's like they're like descendants of like Genghis Khan. Like they're
Yeah.
like
They look Asian, but they speak Russian. And
Yeah,
it's
it's-
very weird.
yes,
and they live in the
strange.
mountains. You know,
yeah.
barely have enough food, but they get by living in the mountains. They have iPhones now. You know, like it's all good. They get Netflix, Russian Netflix.
Ruski Netflix. Oof,
Yeah.
that can't be pleasant.
So I think we got enough material to wrap it up. But yo, Chris, thank you so much for guesting on. Did you have fun?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a good time.
What about you, Brendan?
Just
I had fun. I haven't gotten a reply from the Mormon, Christian, whatever.
All right.
But
Well, now it's time to really party, guys. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. Bye.
Bye.
like a Muppet.